Sam Darnold is officially a part of the squad. I think that 3-year, $100.5 million contract. Darnold was in Seattle to get introduced by the team yesterday and was asked about last season's disappointing finish in Minnesota.
I was waiting for someone to bring that up, by the way. I appreciate that. No, it's fair, man. Like, you get all the way to that point. You have the season that we had offensively as a team. And then, you run into, at the end of the day, like only one team can win the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, we weren't that team. But I learned a ton.
Yeah, I'll say this again. He was sacked 9 times against the Rams. I'm not going to put that one on him. They could not block the Rams.
He lost his left tackle, Darasal.
Yeah, I mean, they could not block the Rams. Now, he was awful against Detroit in the biggest game in Detroit in a long time. But the Rams, I'm not putting that on Sammy. That O-line just got mauled for 3.5 hours.
Now, our great producing staff found that Darnold actually gave credit to Brock Purdy.
I saw that. I thought you were going to bring that up.
Well, I didn't want to lead with that. I want to kind of back into it.
No, I think that's, and I've heard the same thing, is that Darnold thought he was so cognitively sharp, is that Brock Purdy and Darnold got along great, and Darnold told people that I know, he said, that's the smartest player I've ever played with. So I'm not doubting Brock's smart, but he, to his credit, that's really why Brock's in the league. His ability to diagnose a play. We've said this before. Certain guys don't see the field. Zach Wilson of the Jets, Justin Fields. You're like, are they seeing the field? Yet C.J. Stroud and Brock Purdy, first start, you're like, oh, they see everything. Everything's clear to them.
It's kind of a negative, but the big knock on like some of these quarterbacks who don't process quickly is they have slow eyes. I don't know if you've heard that phrase. And like Brock Purdy is the opposite of that. He's like a machine, a robot. And Colin, listen.
Jaden Daniels was the greatest example last year. Jaden Daniels. With a bad O-line, it's really amazing. He saw everything instantly. Justin, Zach, a lot of these guys, they just don't see it.
Now listen.
Yeah. I'm going to end up splitting this up into 2 clips probably because I want to talk about Brock Purdy, and the other one I want to talk about Sam Darnold. This one we're going to talk about Sam Darnold because I just love what he said there. He's such a grown-up. And when you hear what he says, when he talks about Brock Purdy, with his answer about why they came up short, the Seattle Seahawks are getting such a grown-up. And when you're a quarterback, when you're the quarterback for your team, guys, it just matters so much. And it's why I'm harder on like a quarterback like a Shedeur Sanders. It's why I soured more on like an Aaron Rodgers. This is a true aspect of the game of football and leading the team. And I just think that the Seattle Seahawks made such a smart move here because you're even having someone like a Sam Darnold who's willing to learn and admit that he learned and was influenced by someone like Brock Purdy, who he was at this point when they were playing together. He's already, Sam has already been in the league for years. Brock Purdy was only he wasn't even a true first-year starter yet. And because when they played together, Brock Purdy had only played kind of a half a season or whatever, plus playoffs. And so for someone, because again, I remember Nick Wright made fun, when they said Caleb Williams and Brock Purdy were playing with, were practicing together or something like that. And they were like, oh, what is Caleb going to learn from Brock Purdy or whatever, maybe, this or that. And it's just to think that you can't learn from people all around, no matter how old, no matter how young. Heck, I learned lessons from my 9-year-old niece at the time, I'm just like, oh, that's a good point. I didn't look at it like that. I'm like, that was pretty smart. What did, what Disney Channel show did you learn that from? And you can learn lessons and evolve from so many different places, but not everyone's open to that sort of thing. Again, I don't mean to rag on Nick Wright, but when CJ Stroud gave advice to Caleb Williams or something like that, he was kind of who is CJ to kind of tell Caleb what to do or whatever. CJ Stroud's been in the league for a minute, and it's just where do you think that you can kind of because again it turns into this whole inferior complex, this whole big brothering, sonning, whatever phrasing we want to use. And it's just kind of absurd. I mean, it really is. It really is. It's just someone's having some success, someone's having maybe even more experience, or whatever it is. Just like Brock Purdy, even though he's had technically more success than a Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy could learn from Sam Darnold, because you just bring different elements, different knowledges, different different experience, and it all matters. So just the fact that someone like Sam Darnold, there's a reason why Sam Darnold's game has evolved, and why his career obviously did not start how you would want. But now he is significantly better. Not only is he in better situations now than he had earlier in his career, but he's also just fundamentally a better football. And to me, that interview that he gave, as well as him crediting someone like Brock Purdy, like, those are the reasons why. Because he's open to continue to learn and grow and evolve. And you know what? I'm actually like, I still actually just wrote this in the comment section the other day, where I was like, I still believe that like a Carson Wentz can be a starter. I really do. He seems to lack this. One, he seems to lack likability, so people aren't just running up to give him other chances, and locker rooms aren't rallying behind him. And two, he seems to lack the ability to want to continue to learn and grow. And if he was on sitting behind Brock Purdy, like, it doesn't feel like he would be learning from Brock. He would be like, I was a number 2 overall pick, man. Like, I was an MVP candidate. Like, I was gonna be the MVP if I didn't get injured. Like, like, it seems still like that's kind of his mentality, and it hurts you. It absolutely hurts you. So I really believe that Sam Darnold is going to continue to evolve. So when he says, like, I'm going to apply these lessons from the end of the season and learn, like, you better believe he's going to. You better believe he's going to. If the Seattle Seahawks can continue to support Sam Darnold, surround him with the right coaching and just a good enough team, you absolutely undeniably will have success. Like, there's just no shadow of a doubt. And it's just like, I really think the Seahawks struck gold, because you got such a great leader, and someone who's going to continue to evolve and now grow with the Seattle Seahawks and what they're looking to do, especially culturally. And you're getting him at a young enough age where you should have him for like at least 5 years, and you're getting him on such a massive discount. The reality is, it's kind of hard, because I think all the the quarterback market is so messed up right now. Like, does Tua deserve the amount of money that he got? Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, et cetera, because so much of those quarterbacks are paid on what you believe they can be, rather than maybe necessarily what they've done. But if we just want to kind of use a basic number, that a truly, like, really, like, if we're looking at like Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, like the true elite quarterbacks, like 60 million, that is maximum dollars. Like, that is what the true elite going rate is going. You're probably looking at Sam Darnold. He's probably technically like a $50 million quarterback that you're getting for even significantly less than that. I mean, like, that's a steal. That is a fundamental steal. And it's going to pay dividends. It's going to pay dividends. So I think the future is so bright, as long as they're just managed, as long as the Seahawks just manage what they're looking to do smartly. And again, like I always say, whenever I talk about kind of really trying to project into the future, you got to get a little lucky in the draft, right? You got to hit a couple home runs here or there. And of course with injuries as well. And I just really think that the Seahawks can kind of come back and be a squad, quite frankly, and be a force to reckon with. And in a lot of ways, the timing could not be better. When you look at the division, when you look around what the other teams are doing in that division, you're having some quarterbacks, some teams that like have to kind of retread, quarterbacks that are going to be leaving, quarterbacks that are just, not good enough, quite frankly. And, if you told me by next season, or the season after, heck, maybe even this season, depending on, again, the draft, injuries, et cetera, but the Seahawks are competing to win the division, like, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I would not be shocked at all. He's already shown you what he was able to do with the Minnesota Vikings. And I 1000% agree with Colin. Happy to hear him say it loud and clear. I'd been banging that drum forever. Like, I do not blame him for that loss versus the Rams. If you're expecting Sam Darnold, again, if this is a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, a Patrick Mahomes, yeah, I expect them to be able to deal with that pressure better than, say, maybe Sam Darnold, which is why I'm not paying Sam Darnold $60 million a year. There's different expectations. So I'm excited. I really, really am. The big question mark is can, do they have the team right now, or are they still in the process of building it that can, start to compete sooner rather than later? That to me is more of the question. So I'm excited to see what the answer for that is. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Sam Darnold, the fact that he continues to evolve and grow? I'm really excited to hear from Seattle Seahawks fans, because I've kind of gotten this free agency has been kind of all over the place, and I really just want to know directly, like, how excited are Seattle Seahawks fans and anyone who's really connected to the local media? Like, what is the energy in Seattle about Sam? Is there excitement? Is there hesitation? Like, I honestly don't know. I'm not connected to the local media for Seattle, so I would really love to get a deeper understanding on how Seattle fans are feeling about the direction with Sam Darnold. So let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.